Hi, everyone. How are you doing on this very windy, stormy day? Today I'm going to read. Can you hear that? You know who that is? Say hi, Abby. Yeah, Abby. She thinks she can dig through the couch. All right, so I'm going to read a story today out of this book, which is actually a reading book that I used to use with my students. Jackson, you've got a couple of these at home, and they've got, it's like a collection of books, all the books put together. And then I'm going to read you a fiction story, which is pretend, and then I'm going to show you some nonfiction. That's what I like about this big green book. So Jackson, you should take a look at it and see what nonfiction stuff you can find in there after you read a fiction story. This book is called Moving Day. And I bet you can tell what it's going to be about, since you're beach people, about hermit crabs. And you know, we find hermit crabs, those little tiny, tiny hermit crabs. And they come in all sizes, and they come pretty big too, but we don't get the big ones around here. Auntie usually puts it on her hand, and we wait until the little crab comes out, starts walking on my hands. It tickles my hands. They can't bite. Their little mouths are so tiny that they couldn't grab a hold of anything of yours. So that's the kind of hermit crabs we have here. So this hermit crab is trying to find a new home. It's called Moving Day. It's written by Robert Kalan, and the pictures are by Yossi Abolafia. Okay. This shell is too snug. This shell is tight. I will find a shell that's right. And that's what hermit crabs do, don't they? They start to grow, and their shell doesn't grow with them like clams or something. They have to find a bigger shell. There's some pretty shells in this. This shell is too big. This shell is too small. This is reminding you of another story. It's reminding me of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. This is too big, too small. Here's poor hermit crab without a shell. It's not good to be a crab without a shell. It can be dangerous. Too big, too small. These shells will not do at all. You see him down there? This shell is too long. This shell is too wide. Too long, too wide, too big, too small. These shells will not do at all. Oh, poor hermit crab has to keep looking. All this stuff is happening up here at the top of the water, and he's down at the bottom of the water. This shell is too heavy. This shell is too light. Oh, he's floating away. Oh, dear. Too heavy, too light, too long, too wide, too big, too small. These shells will not do at all. He's going. There's an island over here. All kinds of cool stuff at the bottom of the ocean. This shell is too rough. Look at that shell. Oh, kind of cool, huh? This shell is too smooth. It's slide right down. Too smooth. Too smooth. Too rough. Too smooth. Too heavy. Too light. Too long. Too wide. Too big. Too small. These shells will not do at all. All kinds of words that tell about, they're called descriptive words. They tell about something, right? Those are good words to add to your list of words for, Jackson and Joe, I'm sorry, for your writing. Good words that tell how something looks or feels. This shell is too fancy. Ooh, I kind of like it. This shell is too plain. Oh, look at this. This is cool pictures. Too fancy, too plain, too rough, too smooth, too heavy, too light, too long, too wide, too big, too small. These shells will not do at all. Sometimes I just can't find the right fit. This shell is too... Wait. It's not too snug. It's not too tight. This shell is the one that's right. This shell has more room inside, room to grow, and room to hide. That's what a hermit crab needs. And there he is, all snuggly buggly in this little shell. I know this why this shell is fine. It's like the other shell of mine. So he found a nice shell. So this is a picture of the author. That's his picture. It says that he knows a lot about reading, and he was once a kindergarten teacher. And today he likes reading and writing animal stories. And Yossi, who is the illustrator, drew cartoons for TV. He used to draw, and now he draws comic strips for newspapers. He tries to tell stories with his pictures. His pictures did tell the story, didn't they? So now I want to show you the part of the non-fiction part, the part that's real, all about hermit crabs. Here is a big hermit crab. It says, what's it like to pull your house on your back? Ask a hermit crab, it would know. Many crabs have hard shells, but not the hermit crab. Its back is soft. Right here is all soft, which means it could get hurt if it doesn't cover himself with a shell, right? Here he is in his shell. The hermit crab must look for a shell that does not have an animal in it. Sometimes shells have animals in them already. It's like you try to move into a house that there's a family already in there. You can't do that. If an animal comes, the crab ducks in the shell and hides. And that's what we see. You know, when you pick them up, even though the ones we see are really tiny, they go inside their shell and hide because they're afraid. But if you leave them on your hand long enough, they're not afraid anymore, and they start to walk around. Tickles! Oh, then I did. And you don't have to worry if you drop them because they have a nice shell. Look at these pictures. Here's a hermit crab looking at this shell, and then over here, he's actually starting to go in the shell, and he backs himself right into that shell as he came out of this shell. Backs himself right in there, fanny first. It says, this hermit crab is much too big for its shell. It must switch shells. Here's a big shell. The hermit crab pulls out of the first house, then pops right into the new one. It's fun to watch. Sometimes, this summer, maybe we'll see if we can watch a crab getting into its shell. It's really cool. It's very hard to find those, but once in a while. If you go to the seashore, look for a shell that walks. It's a hermit. Is a hermit crab in it? What a crab. And this little boy's holding kind of a big one in his hand. He's not afraid. They don't bite. They're more afraid of you than you are of them. So that's the story of the hermit crab, the pretend story, the fiction, and the nonfiction. All about real hermit crabs. So this summer, we will collect some hermit crabs and watch them and see what they do. They're kind of cool. I like them. All right, you have a great day today. Love you all. 3 kisses.